Let's welcome in the source codes. How's everyone doing? We are in this portal. We've been in this portal, this new moon portal, and I realized yesterday, excuse me, I didn't realize yesterday, until yesterday, we can get the words out, is this is a super new moon. So I feel like this new moon feels more like a full moon. There's a lot of emotional stuff that's coming up to be purged. Whether you realize that emotion is attached to anything, it doesn't have to be attached to anything, so don't judge it, let it flow. I have been crying basically nonstop, on and off for, I don't know, a day and a half. I lose track of what day it is. It's what, June 13th? 13 is very significant. Tomorrow's the 14th. We're already in this portal. And I'm integrating. If y'all haven't heard the stories, I have been integrating. I had 2 massive meditation, activation, downloads, soul work that took place. I shared the sound bath experience from Sunday, 122 on the timer. I did not share yet what took place 2 days later in meditation. I will do that, but there was another massive activation work connecting into the globe, the planet, to the crystalline grid, activating the 12 stargates, my higher 7th dimensional Andromedan self stepping more fully into my field, that type of stuff. And I've been integrating and receiving news, which is also triggering and activating emotional release, you know, especially when it comes to relationships and partners. And our connection goes deeper than this lifetime, for sure. So I think there's a lot of soul sorrow, a lot of soul release that's been taking place, because it's the ugly cry. It's the ugly cry. It's the exhaustion. It's the zero motivation. It's the just don't even have the energy to walk or put up, like, again, I use bandwidth. I just don't have the bandwidth to, I still create some stuff if I, you know, I didn't do any videos yesterday, but I was still posting some things, you know, and I will talk another video about the childlike wonder and play, because that's important right now. That's what Source as adults wants us to do, wants to play and create and go back to that childhood wonder again. These streams of consciousness that you're tapped into, and realizing that ever since that, I mean, I connect to this rainbow frequency. I've not, 303 on the timer, that's not been something that I don't talk about. Let's see if we can get that in there. But here's the thing. If you saw that video, you'll know. So in that video, the main theme was a crystalline pyramid and this rainbow frequency in the 5th element and all the elements for that particular activation. And what came through either that night or the next day was the Pink Floyd cover, the one with the crystal, the white triangle, and the stream of light reflecting into that. So to me, now I know, and I was born in the 70s, so I wasn't familiar and still not fully familiar with Pink Floyd, but I'm very familiar with that cover. And that's what the team dropped in within 24 hours of having that activation during my sound bath. In that stream of light coming through the crystalline rainbow, and it prisms out into the rainbow. So it's a white stream of light, source consciousness coming through the triangle and prisming out, you, me, expressing itself in our own unique flavor, color, and essence, frequency, and energy. And so I'm getting goosebumps. So I had this experience. I created, when I put all my information into my sacred algorithm, an image was created, and then this Pink Floyd album cover dropped in, and I literally had that up in my tabs and closed that out yesterday. And then last night, someone else posted something in Facebook with the same imagery in the corner and explaining all the spectrums. And I did a video 2 days ago about the rays of the rainbow, some type of rainbow activation. I don't know what I have it written here. So when you are all tapping into the same type of stream of consciousness and everyone's creating from that in their own unique way, and now it's showing up in reality, you're getting downloads about it, you're having activations around that, and you're seeing imagery online or in the wild. This is not new to me, but it still is so fascinating. It's so fucking fascinating. Where is it? So we did the Jupiter codes, the rainbow. Yeah, so what is this called? We did this a couple days ago. It was called, apologize, Vibrant Rainbow Light Language Activation. And there was an image created with that I also posted on Facebook. And I may have to go back and connect that to the video, to the reels. It was called Vibrant Rainbow Light Language Activation. Did that on the 10th. That was 3 days ago. Again, threes are very significant, very 3 energy. Everything that's taken place, I see it in threes. It's happening in threes. Now, I've asked for this, so this is not new. I asked my team, especially with the like in my meditation activations, it was in 3 significant parts. But this Vibrant Rainbow Light Language Activation went into the violet ray, the indigo ray. Again, we're all getting, this chakra system is getting turned on and reactivated, recalibrated, and it's been happening for a while. And again, it depends on where your stage is in your awakening journey, in your process, but everyone's systems are getting fully turned on. These indigo rays, all of these rays that are connected to your chakra system, all of your main chakras, I believe there's 13 plus, and then all of your interpersonal chakras are getting activated, turned on. Maybe they've been recalibrated, cleansed, and cleared. Maybe there was gunk, things like that. But this brought in all the different rays, the indigo ray, the blue ray, the green ray, the yellow ray, all the different rays, and then those are all connected to your chakra systems. And then of course I see, and this came to me a day or two after, because we were in the Venus and Jupiter in conjunct. That's big too. We're still in that with everything that's going on, in the sign of Cancer, and Cancer is a very watery, again, the crying energy. And then whatever so the Jupiter codes of rejuvenation. Okay, so I did something around that. That's a chipmunk chirping, by the way, sharing its codes. So again, rambling is channeling. That was brilliant. I know this. When I squirrel, it's channeling. When I ramble, it's channeling. So I wanted to talk about integration. That's the point of why I wanted to sit down here and have this, because I'm still got this massive head pressure. So you might be having a lot of massive head pressure. So when I'm going through, not every integrative state I've gone through, and I've gone through many, as more than likely you have, and I'm here to share my personal experience, because again, we share what we're going through, and we don't bypass or try to hide like it's a bad thing. It's part of this sacred journey. And you need to honor that. So when people are asking what's wrong, it's hard to explain. You can say, it's good that people recognize that, because that's soul to soul recognition that there's something up. Energetically, you can feel it. But it's hard to explain to somebody that doesn't understand what integration is, or upgrades, or activations, or downloads are necessarily. So it's like this, you want to just, I usually just say that, and they're like, what are you talking about? And sometimes that opens a conversation, or if I'm not willing to have the bandwidth to have the conversation, I just, I'm purging, I'm just dealing with stuff. And it's, again, having these two, and again, of course, these aren't the only two. Like I said, I've had massive downloads. The last 4 weeks have been a ride with my psychic abilities going up, which is good. That's what we want. Being turned on more and more in every now present moment. The stream of consciousness that is tying in as to prove that we are all connected and everything's connected, and we're all weaving together this beautiful tapestry, whether you realize it or not. And then allow for the integrations. So when you have so like I said, the soul aspect came through, I don't know, we're at 4 or 5 weeks ago, and then there was an integrative recalibration of my nervous system to be able to hold that energy that had been dormant or gone, stored away wherever that soul aspect was hanging out for lifetimes. And then now tapping into my 7th dimensional Andromedan self, and that aspect coming more down into my field, because I've got the space to hold that energy. But you need to allow for the recalibration of this. right? You have to allow for the recalibration of this 10:10 on the timer. And so it hit me. It hit me like 2 days ago. The kiddo, like I said, I did all of those videos. I've been creating so much content because I will create content when I'm streaming the frequency and energy. And when I don't, then I rest. So he integrated that day and I started going in that evening and all the way through yesterday. And yeah, day and a half now. And I was in bed 12 hours. Went to bed at 7:30, got out of bed at 7:30 and slept pretty much the entire time. I wasn't awake much. And then of course in my sleeping state, who the hell knows? I was all over the place. It's laughable at this point when I roll over and like, where the fuck were we just at? Because it's exhausting. It's weird. It's a weird dreams, vivid dreams that you know they're vivid, but you just can't quite grasp them or remember them. You're cleaning up, you're timeline jumping, you're working in the higher realms, you're getting things together, co-creating, all of that stuff for what's taking place now and what's coming. So it's again allowing for the integration. Again, massive head pressure, like I said, the ugly cry, the snot, like it was laughable. I'm sitting at the beach yesterday, post conversation with my partner about the extension of his trip. Again, processing all of that information, processing whatever that's triggering in me and allowing that and just sobbing and just watering Gaia with the tears. But I had like a snot bubble. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just, my eyes were swollen. I'm just sitting there, but I don't care if other people see that because that's important. I'm expressing myself. I'm allowing the emotions to flow in nature. And when I felt ready to move, then I got up and I made my way home. Not because I was escaping. I sat there and I just sat there with the emotions for about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, and then I drove 12:12 on the timer, drove home and got into a sacred bath and just allowed that, and then just kind of just moved through things more slowly, just really mindfully and not rushing and not trying to figure anything out, not trying to figure out this emotion, just allowing for the integration. So don't try to figure out where the tears are coming from. If you know, that's great, address that, because remember your triggers are your portals and it's an opportunity to do the deeper work. But if it's just flowing, more than likely you're just clearing things on a soul level that your human has no idea what that is connected to. And it could be also clearing ancestral stuff for your ancestors as well as collective consciousness. So yes, a lot of us have anchored ourselves here and signed up for this as part of our contracts to help the collective consciousness clear grief. This was very grief. This felt grieving. This felt like not just personally, but it felt very collectively an ancestral grief. There was a lot of grief energy around this purging that took place. So you might find that as well. A lot of grief, a lot of sadness. And again, we're having these massive heart chakras, activations, openings, expansions, right? And that grief gets its heart space. If you look at people that have heart problems, there's unresolved grief in the heart space. It is connected to that. So if you have heart problems, maybe you need to address grief, the emotion of grief, okay? All right, I'm gonna keep talking, but I wanna make sure these videos get posted because it seems like the longer they are, they're not posting. So we're gonna keep it here. We'll call this part 1. I'm gonna go into part 2 and just keep talking. So if you feel called, whichever part you receive, it's the perfect part, okay? From my heart to yours, I'll see you soon. 14:14 on the timer. Bye.